Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's tutorial. Today we are going to be working with the leftovers from last week, which was the Carta Summer Market Collection. We made 4 pages last week, and this week we're just going to take all the leftover embellishments along with the journaling cards and leftover cardstock, and we are going to try and make 4 more pages for my 2012 pocket page album. So here I'm just kind of spreading out all of our stuff, and I took my 12 by 12 spare pieces of pattern paper and also cut them up into 4 by 6 sizes. So here I'm just going to kind of quickly show you the process that I go through to pick my actual pocket page protector. So what I do is for every month, you guys know that I print out what I call a contact sheet. So it's all the pictures that I want to scrapbook in that particular month. So here I'm just gonna kind of show you guys what I do to sort of further categorize my photos and prep them. So when I look at my contact sheet, I break up all of my photos into themes. So here I have setting up the lake, I have vet visit, Mother's Day, soccer, around the yard, some selfies, and then in brackets I put how many pictures are for each of those themes. Now, then what I do is, so I know my albums are around 100 pages for a 12-month period of time. So that's about 8 pages per month, but some months there's going to be a little bit more and some months there's going to be a little bit less. Usually the summer months have a little bit more. So here I'm just writing number 1. So that's going to be my first set of double pages. So there's going to be 2 pages per number. So here I put soccer as its own set of double pages. I put and then a few other ones like around the yard and setting up the lake and boating. And then I have dedicated 2 pages, which is number 5 here, called May Randoms. And so sometimes when I have like a bunch of random pictures in a month, I'll just put them on a randoms page. So I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that when I'm going through and picking, today's pages, I'm gonna leave, I need to plan out where I'm putting them in my album, because in pocket pages, you need to really plan that out. So I'm gonna leave a blank area behind my last pages that I've done because I wanna put some soccer pictures there and some camping pictures there. So I'm starting with some brand new page protectors today, just because I'm not using the backside of my previous layout that I have in my chronological order of my 2012 album. And so today I'm basing my page protectors on how many pictures I want, on my layouts, and also keep in mind that you can get 12 by 12 page protectors even for your pocket page album. So that's definitely something you can keep in mind if you want to put like a full 12 by 12 layout or even like a full 12 by 12 photo area. So I went ahead and picked my page protectors based on my contact sheet and based on the theming of my pages. So I'm gonna go ahead and start these from scratch, and these I'm gonna do my May around the yard. So there's some construction and then there's some gardening and some flower kind of pictures. And so these 2 double layouts today that I'm working on are actually going to be back to back. So I'm going to be using the back side of this 12 by 12 page protector on the right. I'm going to be using that. I'm going to be flipping that over and using the back side of that for my next set of layouts that we're working on today. So we needed 3 page protectors today to be able to do our pages. Okay, so I wanted this page here we didn't really use this particular green color last week on our 4 single page pages last week, so I wanted to utilize some of this this green color here today. And we did have some of that cardstock left over from last week, and we also had that polka dot pattern paper from last week as well that was sort of that same green color. So here I'm just I knew that I needed at least 10 photo spots, and I think we ended up with 11, I think. I'm not actually sure. Um, but I knew that I needed about 10 photo spots for what I wanted to do here today. So here I just picked, I really like the idea of using full 4x6 sizes in the 4x6 pockets, but I also like the idea of downsizing that a little bit to like a 3x5 photo size, and then being able to add embellishments inside of that 4x6 pocket and have some of the background cardstock or pattern paper showing. And here I didn't really use any different techniques. I just used, since we had so much cardstock and so much pattern paper left, I just simply chose to do a lot of mats behind some of my smaller photo sizes. And here, this was actually a border strip from one of the pattern papers that came in the 12x12 collection kit. So I just decided to cut it down to 6 inches wide to fit in this spot, and I tried to use it to make the background not so plain behind this 3x3 photo area. So at this point I became kind of really indecisive about photo sizes and embellishments in these last 2 4x6 photo areas or pocket areas, and I kind of switch things up all the time, going between black and white or green, and even the photo sizes to go with that oval quote area. I found that the portion sizes just they didn't seem to be working out the way I wanted to, but I settled on this 3x3 photo area to go next to that oval area, and I really liked the look of this 3x5 photo area matted with yellow on top of the black and white. I thought it stood out really nicely, and I like that there is a lot of yellow and green in this whole set of double pages. And I like that this 3x3 photo area really popped off of that background pattern paper with this black mat as well. And then here I just kind of fill some of those voids with a few little chipboard embellishments there, and then finish it off with this lovely day little tiny accent below that 3x3 photo area. And so for these bigger photo areas like this 3x5 one, I kind of just like to keep things simple and just put a little, a little titling or a little embellishment along the top, or maybe one along the bottom. And that will pretty much finish up with this set of double pages, and then we're just gonna flip it over and work on the back side. Okay, so now we flipped over our last page of our previous double layout here. We're going to use the back side of it to continue on this second set of double pages. So here I'm just going to kind of go through our 3x4 journaling cards and pick out the ones that I want and kind of randomly start putting them in where I want to put them. And being that we're sort of working with the same collection, the back side of some of those 4x6 journaling cards from the previous layouts, the back sides of them will actually, a few of them will actually work for this layout as well. So we're gonna actually just leave some of those the way they are. Like I really like the lemonade, the lemons with the cups with the straw, and I like the flowery print one next to that yellow journaling card that says today is going to be the best day ever. So we're gonna like keep some of those. And here I really wanted to utilize this fruit kind of pattern paper and fill in this area, fill in some of these 3x4 vertical areas so that they kind of match that top left 4x6 fruit area. Okay, so there's a lot of 3x4 vertical pocket areas on the right hand side of this double layout. So I wanted to kind of break it up a little bit and make it a little bit more interesting by sort of putting those 2" by 3.25" photo areas kind of all together. So I made that inside corner of them all so that they all kind of like centered around that one spot, and then we're going to kind of embellish around those. So kind of, you could actually probably put if you wanted like one 4x6 photo area there and just cut that 4x6 photo into 4 pieces to utilize that whole, those 4 3x4 spots, photo spots. But I'm just gonna go with 4 separate photos in that area because I need that many different photos in this set of double layouts. And here I'm just utilizing, again, the same thing as the previous set of double pages, just matting my photo areas and putting them on top of like a pattern paper. And then, popping up an embellishment around that photo mat with foam tape. Or if it's a chipboard, I just directly put the chipboard onto that area. So I knew when I was working with these 3x4 vertical pocket areas that with these 4 photos that I wanted to sort of bring them together somehow. So I took this banner piece, and I know that it's too long to fit in a 3x4 pocket area. So what I did is I just tried to line up those 2 3x4 pocket areas as best as I could, adhere the banner to both of them, and then just cut them apart so that they can fit inside of their pockets but look like, you know, they're working together still. So it's going to be a little bit tricky to fit them back into the pockets because I see like that the banner is sticking out a little bit on a few of the sides. So we're just going to have to trim that down, and hopefully it'll make it work out okay. And sometimes, especially like when you're cutting like a 4x6, a 4x6 sort of like pattern paper or something, when you're cutting it in half, sometimes you don't cut it 100% perfect, and then it one side fits into the pocket really nicely, and the other side it's like a little bit too tight or something like that. Maybe that side you cut a little bit bigger when you were cutting that 4x6 area in half. And so sometimes you just gotta trim things down, and especially if you're adding like foam tape or chipboard or anything like that into the pockets, you might have to trim like your background to be like a little bit smaller to utilize, like to help with some of that bulkiness inside the pocket. So I always think it's better to leave it maybe a tiny, like make it so you can slide it in really nicely. That way it's not going to like buckle your paper too hard or your pockets too hard and stuff like that, so that it doesn't have like that weird shine on it. Sometimes it's just better to go ahead and just trim down your papers to try and make it fit a little bit more smoothly in there. So next week I will not have a video. I need to catch up on a lot of things here at home, and I think I might start going down to a video every second week instead of every week now. Just life's getting a little bit out of balance a little bit, so I just need to catch up on some things, and we might revisit that and change that up a little bit later in the summer, depending on how busy things are. But I hope that you guys have a great weekend and that everyone is staying safe and healthy, and we will see you in a couple weeks.